Okay, Be'ezrat Hashem, Perek Yud, Pasuk Chet. We continue. Chacham Lev Yikach Mitzvot, a wise heart. The one, very interesting, the one that has a chachma in his heart, yeah, will take the mitzvot. Ve'evil, and the foolish, Sefatayim Illavet, will have his lips Illavet, will make him, I guess, grief, will make him will disappoint him. And
I mean, with his lips,
he disappoints himself. Yes,
his lips will bring upon disappointment.
Yes. So the Gaon, he says like this. He brings the Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin. The Gemara says the following. Maskana afilu klape shmayim mehanya. Rashi explains that a machshava of Torah is moila, has its value. And the Gaon explains like this. He says like this. He says, a person that says, tomorrow I will wake up early and I will study. That is what he has in mind. Tomorrow, this is what I'm going to do. Says the Gaon, the Yetzer Hara will make sure that the next day he will not go, he will not be able to go learn. The Mishlei in Keter Malchut, in the beginning of Keter Malchut, he brings the Gemara in Masechet Shabbat also, that says something very similar. I think we've spoken about it along the way, that when you talk about something and you say that I will do whatever that is, yes, and you say it, the Mishlei explains, the Rashi, that since you enjoyed the idea and you've awoken a pleasant emotion of the thought that you had, you've already capitalized that pleasure virtually, and therefore the practical outcome of what you want to do doesn't happen. Meaning, by talking about something you want to do or you're about to do, yes, it awakes an emotion, a pleasure, a simcha. So the simcha you got. So now you cannot get it double. See, but you chose, by talking about it, to enjoy that simcha with a virtual, I guess, reality, by imagining it, and you capitalized on it with the simcha that you got. So for that, then the plan actually doesn't happen. Like when people talk, when a person talk, I'm going to do, before it's done, a lot of the sikuim are that it's never going to happen. That's Keter Malchut based on Rashi Masechet Shabbat. Says the Gaon the same thing here. He says, Afilu b'divrei Torah, the Keter Malchut in the Rashi, Afilu b'divrei Torah. Oh, I'm going to learn this Masechet, or I'm going to learn this, or I'm going to finish that, or I'm going to start this. Yeah. בסופו של דבר, at the end, he doesn't do it. Here, b'mforash, he says, somebody that says, tomorrow I will wake up early to learn Torah, he will not wake up, he will not learn Torah. He might wake up early, something's going to happen, but his plan is not going to come to fruition.
For all,
So the Chacham Lev, what?
for all concepts, everything.
That's what he says. That when you project, now you can plan, but when you talk about it, okay, and you take a simha from it, and you take pleasure and satisfaction, okay, not that if you sit down and say, oh, this is a plan I'm going to make, but when you actually discuss it, it's like you bring ayin hara on yourself. So says the Gaon, the Chacham Lev yikach mitzvot. What does that mean? Right away, the opportunity comes, he does. The Chacham Lev is not someone that that likes to think about what's going to be and what we're going to do. And he's someone that is tachles. The Chacham Lev has the ability to take advantage of the moment and every opportunity that comes his way. And he doesn't push back. He doesn't say, okay, I will do tomorrow. It's amazing that in the parashiot that we read, Teruma, Tetzaveh, yeah, there's also the concept of Chacham Lev. And the Malbim, we learned it. The Malbim in the Shurim, on the Malbim al Parasha, there's difference between the Chacham and the Chacham Lev. Says the Malbim something nifla. He says the Chacham is somebody that has Chokhmah. The Chacham Lev is someone that has the ability to bring the Chokhmah to practice, to practicality. Is someone that his heart, his instinct, his tendencies are so much influenced by Chokhmah that they react along, and their reaction, the instinctive reaction is aligned with the Chokhmah. That's the Chacham Lev. Is someone that his instinct is aligned with the Chokhmah. How is an instinct aligned with Chokhmah? By applying the Chokhmah over and over and over again, by overriding the instinct, by stopping, holding up your instinct, your reaction, yes, analyzing and forcing the Chokhmah to be your reaction. Right? So instead of being instinctive, you hold off from your instinct, you use your chokhmah, and then you enforce the outcome of your chokhmah in your action. So by doing this over and over and over again, you're infusing now your instinct with chokhmah, and you're creating a behavior that is now a behavior of chokhmah, even from an instinctive way.
Rabbi, could you give an example?
An example.
Seems like it could lead to overthinking situations rather, because a lot of things that we do are partially instinctive. Is it a fusion of the two?
I'll give you an example. You start a business, okay? Whatever it is. to buy and sell diamonds, okay, whatever it is, jewelry, it doesn't matter what. And you're excited, okay? In the beginning, you want to buy, you want to trade, yes? But you don't really have the chokhmah to know what to buy and what not to buy, when to hold off, yes? But with time, yes, if you're only instinctive and you buy what you think is right or, without any chokhmah, most chances are that you're going to make mistakes. With with the years and the education and the experience, you gain chokhmah. And now you know when to buy and when to hold off. Yes? Now, the more you gain experience and chokhmah, and the more you know how to behave. Yes? Now, eventually, you'll know exactly when somebody comes to present you some goods, if you want to buy or you're rejecting it. It becomes instinctive. But that instinct is not an instinct that came because of the desire to buy and sell. It's an instinct that's molded by your chokhmah, by your experience. Yes, so it's quick. The same thing. If you try to lose you try to control your eating habits. Yes, no. If your instinct is to eat anything every time you see, or you smell pizza, you eat pizza. You smell hamburger, you want to eat a hamburger. Yeah. The emet is when you walk in the street, you're not hungry, you smell good good pizza, suddenly you're hungry. You go in, you buy pizza, you eat. Now you know that it's not good. You're trying to lose weight, or you know it's not good for you, or whatever it is. Yeah. So by holding on that instinct and thinking, well, this is the way, this is the calories I have to eat or not eat, or whatever. I can. Everybody's laughing. Yeah. So eventually, the more chokhmah you put into your diet, you get to a point where you smell pizza and you know that it's not the time, or it's not good. Okay. So that's how you work your instinct, by infusing chokhmah. Essentially, what that means is that now your traits, your midot, your instinct, your koach hamitorer, are molded, okay, and educated by your chokhmah. That's the difference between a chacham and a chacham lev. The chacham has the chokhmah, but he fights inside his yetzer. He's in constant battle between the instinct and the intellect. Oh, yeah.
Rabbi, could it be like chacham lev when you have it says levavcha yetzer tov yetzer ra, deciding like the chacham concludes what both of them are arguing, and then you make a decision.
Yeah, you're saying the same thing.
Okay.
You're saying the same thing. Is overriding the yetzer, the poles
Both
of the
yetzer hara and yetzer tov.
Well, you essentially the chokhmah will choose the yetzer tov, right?
Hopefully, yes.
So the more you are aligned with the chokhmah, and the more your yetzer tov is dominant. So that's the chacham lev. That's the chacham lev. So the chacham lev is essentially when you're in control of your instinct through your chokhmah. You now have the ability to live the moment and be in touch with the reality that's in front of you, and take advantage of every opportunity. And you also understand that talking or pushing to a later time an opportunity essentially is creating a threat to that opportunity. Yeah. When you can do something today and say, you know what, I'll do it tomorrow, you're exposing yourself to that maybe tomorrow you're not going to be able to do that. And what usually is the cause to delay an opportunity to later? It's the heaviness of the nefesh. Is the laziness, or the lack of clarity, or priorities are not straight. But a person that understands opportunities knows that if I don't strike right away, then I'm in I'm really jeopardizing the opportunity. So that's the chachamlin. And the flip side is the evil, the fool. The fool, says the Gaon, is the one that sees an opportunity and doesn't take it. That's the fool. And he says he uses, and how does he appease himself? By saying, it's okay, I don't need to do it now, I can do it later. So the sefatayim, his lips, are fooling him, because his lips are his mouth is basically coming to rationalize why he doesn't need to do right away the mitzvah, or take advantage of the situation right away, and postpone it to later. So he says, Yilabet, he will end up being disappointed, and it will lead him to grief. Why? Because those lips, instead of fighting, yes, this laziness, they accommodating it. And the reality is that by talking himself out of the responsibility, he sets himself up for failure later. Good? Clear? Is that good?
Rabbi, it's similar to what if I remember what we saw in Pasuk Hey, right? Oger Bakaitz, that the Chacham we gave, I think you gave the Chidush about the Zman, right? The Chacham sees the Zman, the opportunity, and he jumps on it.
Nachon. Yes.
And here, right, the fool gets caught up with delaying.
Correct. Nachon. Pasuk Tet. Yes, very nice. Emet. Holech betom yelech betach. Whoever who lives his life betmimut, betom, yelech betach, will always live, he will go in a safe, sure of himself. Ume'akesh derachav ivadea. But whoever, crooks his ways, his paths, ivadea, he's gonna be exposed. He's gonna find out.
Can you explain the first part of the pasuk again? What, or more importantly, explain what tmimut is in this context?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Yes. Here, it says the Gaon, you have two types of person. You have a person that is crooked, and a person that is straight, that is yashar. somebody crooked by default is somebody that has no issues to hurt someone else in order to benefit himself. That's the definition of somebody crooked. That's the me'akesh de rachav. Is somebody that is twisted and will hurt whoever as long as he can benefit from it. Now, he's not a rasha to the extent where he shows that he's hurting. He's crooked. So somebody crooked has to look straight. Yeah, because if he shows you that he's crooked, then you're never going to trust him. So he has to show and pretend that he's honest and straight, even though in his heart the guy is crooked and he wants to take advantage. So the crooked me'akesh de rachav. He goes in in crooked ways. He's going to go in roundabouts and he's going to create stories and invent things just so that you cannot detect that the guy is crooked. But somebody that is olech betom, somebody that is straight, says the Gaon, somebody that is straight is the Tom is somebody that is not interested in hurting anyone. And the opposite, somebody that is straight cannot hurt anyone. So his behavior is carved, is forged by the sensitivity of not being harmful. So that Tom, that Tamim, that person that is sensitive not to hurt, this guy he's sure of himself. Why? Because no matter what he does, yes, he's shalem, he's complete with himself. Because he knows that he's not here to hurt and he's not going to hurt. So he has nothing to hide. So what you see is what you get. And he doesn't need to hide anything.
Rabbi, the answer is what is betom? Meaning, I understand betom means complete or
So
straight.
So
but
the definition is the betom is somebody that is sensitive not to hurt people. He's
so basically,
honest.
if you have a left of,
I'm sorry.
If you have a left of, or basically you don't have a left ra.
We didn't say that. Left of is more than just tom. Tamim, somebody that is straight, is somebody that does things and is careful to do it right and not to hurt along the way.
Not to hurt others.
Correct.
Got it.
So if you're honest and you do you're left bederech yashar and you're careful not to hurt others, then your behavior is solid. Yeah, you don't lie, you don't twist, you don't manipulate. So you can be yourself. You don't have to overthink. You don't have to be watch over. Watch behind your back what's going on. You don't need to keep track of your lies, of your manipulations. Things are clear. But the me'akesh, the merameh, the guy that manipulates, that lies, that twists, has to cover his path all the way, right? His tracks, like they say. But at the end, Yivadea, says Shlomo HaMelech, that person at the end, HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes sure to expose him. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will be doeg, will create a situation where that guy at the end will be exposed to all, not only to that person, but to everybody, so that everybody knows that this guy is a crook. So says the Gaon essentially something beautiful. Yes. That if you think that you can manipulate and you can take advantage, it might work with men, but it doesn't work with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So at the end, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will expose the person. Even if the individual himself doesn't see through the wickedness of the person. We're good? Pasuk Yud Aleph. Koretz ayin yiten atzavet. Somebody that winks his eyes creates atzavet, is sorrow, sadness. The evil and the foolish, sefatayim yilabet, his lips will bring out grief and disappointment. Again, like we said earlier in Pasuk Chet. Says the Gaon the following. Somebody that speaks echad bapeh ve'echad balev, meaning that is not honest and is hiding something, and is in the middle of a conversation with someone, and he's taking advantage of him, or you see that he's like fooling him. How does he convey to a third guy that he's in the middle of taking advantage of the guy? He's looking at him and he's giving him a wink. He goes. So, right? He winks an eye. Okay? So koretz ayin, somebody that you see winks a lot, or when he talks, he winks. That means that's a person that he has echad bapeh ve'echad balev. That he's hiding something in his heart. Yiten atzavet. He will cause sorrow, he will cause sadness. Now says the Gaon, the Mishlei says, the winking of the eye, yeah, winking. That's what we say, winking.
With an N, wink.
Wink, like this, yeah. Says the Gaon, the Mishlei says, the person that hides, and when he doesn't realize that he winks. Yes, it's something that's natural. Meaning, if there's it's somebody that's a little bit close to him on his side, while he's taking advantage of somebody else, instinctively he's going to wink. Now, says the Gaon, what's happened? He's going to realize that he just exposed himself. Right? So what is he going to do? He's going to try now to explain that no, he didn't really, like he winked, but it's not because he has echad b'peh ve'echad b'lev. It's for something else. And all he's doing is exposing himself more to that person, to that third party. And that brings the person, says the Gaon, that winked, to him it brings sorrow, it brings sadness. Why? Because now he's exposed. And he tried to take advantage of Shimon, but he winked to Levi. So now who did he expose himself to? To Levi, right? Now, but why did he wink to Levi? Because he felt instinctively that Levi is close to him. So by taking advantage of Shimon and winking to Levi, he just caused Levi to be now suspicious of him. So says the Gaon, when you have echad b'peh ve'echad b'lev, your body language will expose you at one point. And not only it will expose you to the one that, in front of the person you have control over, that you're trying to take advantage of, but you expose yourself to the close ones next to you, which are now going to look at you in a different way and start doubting you. And that's what he means, koretz ayin yiten atzavet. That's yet the chacham. Yeah, not the chacham lev. Not even the chacham, but somebody that is the person that tries to take advantage. But the evil, the fool, will actually go and tell over to a friend what he's about, what he's doing. Oh, this is, we're going to take advantage of this. This is how we're going to do it. This, I'm going to look at this guy, Dave, he didn't realize. Says the Gaon, the fool speaks what he has in his heart to his confident. But what he doesn't realize is that his confident is going to use everything that has been said now against him. Says Shlomo HaMelech, that a person that is echad b'peh ve'echad b'lev, somebody that is manipulative, somebody that is crooked, is exposed in three ways. Or is exposed, like we said in Pasuk Yud, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will expose the person to the eyes of all. Or the person will be exposed by his body language. And if he's a really fool and speaks about it and brags about how he's taking advantage and how manipulative he is, he gives now ammunition to the people around him to actually use this against him. So there is no, according to Shlomo HaMelech, the echad b'peh ve'echad b'lev doesn't get you anywhere. because you lose your beloved ones that trust you through your body language. You're going to get hurt by the ones you tell over what you're doing, and you only tell over to someone that you actually are close to, right? They're going to end up using this against you. And if it's not by the close ones, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will expose the person to the eyes of all. So he's socially completely finished, the guy. Good? Mekor Chaim, Pasuk Yud Aleph. Mekor Chaim Pit Tzadik. The mouth of a tzaddik is a source, is a source of life. Upi Reshaim, and the mouth of the Reshaim, of the Yechaseh Hamas, covers the Hamas, the wicked. The Gaon explains the following. He says, "Mekor Chaim Pit Tzadik." The mouth of the tzaddik is a source of life, because we know ki hu chayecha, right? The Torah is chayecha, is our life. The tzaddik. What is the tzaddik? Who is the tzaddik? The tzaddik is the person that uses his mouth to teach others, to learn Torah, to learn mitzvot. And he's busy using his mouth to teach. So essentially, by teaching Torah, he's giving life, because the Torah is life. So, says the Gaon, now his mouth is a source of life. His mouth is gozer, the tzaddik gozer v'akadosh baruch hu mekayem. Because the mouth of the tzaddik is filled with Torah, because he's teaching Torah, now his mouth has the kedusha of the Torah, which essentially the Torah is life. So now he has life in his mouth. And by having life is in his life, by talking, he infuses life in people or in situation. This is tzaddik gozer, the tzaddik decrees, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu mekayem. Why? Because the mouth of the tzaddik is so imbibed and infused with Torah, which is life, that he has the ability to bring life to his mouth. This is why we go to tzaddikim for brachot, because their mouth is a mouth that teaches Torah, that speaks Torah, that is a mekor, a fountain of life, a source of life. Upi reshaim yechaseh Hamas. Says the Rasha is someone that has no issues hurting others. Somebody that just raises his hand on somebody else is already considered a Rasha, even if he didn't hurt. So the Rasha by default doesn't have any issues in hurting. Bepumbi. He's not worried to be exposed. He hurts. He speaks bad. So says the Gaon, the Rasha fills the world with Hamas. With Hamas is with fights and wickedness. Why? Because when the Rasha hurts Shimon is going to want to hurt him back. He hurts Levi is going to want to hurt him back because they feel so abused, so hurt, that it's going to be very hard for them to hold their anger and retain their pain. So what they're going to do, they're going to react. And that makes them now trapped in the Resha, in this behavior of Hamas. So the Rasha doesn't realize that it creates a snowball effect of bad and negativity. So the Rasha, that's why the Rasha has in his mouth Hamas. His mouth is cursed because he always creates machloket. He tries to hurt, he hurts people, he talks bad about people, he lies. So from his mouth can only come negativity. That's why we don't want to be in the mouth of a Rasha. Because what comes out of his mouth is bad. But we do want to be in the mouth of the tzaddik. Because what comes out of the mouth of the tzaddik is chaim. There's also a nuance here we need to raise. He says that Shlomo says Mekor Chaim pi tzaddik, tzaddik in singular. But when he talks about Rasha, he says pi reshaim yechase Hamas, right? When he talks about the Rasha, he talks in plural. Why by the tzaddik is yachid is singular and by Rasha is plural reshaim? So the Rambam explains the following. He says that tzaddik, he's a tzaddik because he works on himself individually. And he teaches what he's working on himself. Yes, so all the dimension and the definition of a tzaddik is from an internal and individual work. But the Rasha, if he doesn't have who to hurt, who to speak bad about to, then he's nobody, he's empty. So the Rasha can only be a Rasha if there's a counterparty. There's somebody to talk to about, there's somebody to hurt. You take an individual, you leave him alone, and he doesn't have interaction with others, he cannot be a Rasha. Because he cannot hurt. He's not exposed to others to hurt. But the tzaddik, when he's alone, that's when he builds himself as a tzaddik. So comes Shlomo HaMelech to tell us that the individuality and the inner work and introspection a person makes on himself when he's alone, okay, is the opportunity for him to develop the tzidkut. This is why the tzaddikim is a lot of the time they're nistarim, they're on their own. Or they're teaching and influencing and uplifting, or you don't have access to them. Because they're busy working on themselves. But the Rasha needs to be with people all the time, needs to be surrounded. And I think this is a tremendous lesson of Musar on a personal level. That if we feel we need to be surrounded with people all the time and we need to talk, we're cultivating the tendency of reshut that's within us. But when we learn to appreciate the individuality, the moments where we are with ourselves, to learn, to grow, to introspect, to change ourselves, to elevate ourselves, and so we understand we're maturing also the trait of becoming a tzaddik. And then what happens when you grow and you've revealed something within yourself, you want to share it. So your exposure is not from a place of need of the other, but it's to share with the other what you've created, what you've developed. To the contrary of the Rasha needs the other to throw his venom.
People can argue and say, hey, I surround myself with good people. I'm surrounding myself with tzaddikim. That's why I like to be with a lot of people all the time. Is that a justification?
It depends. It's a justification based on the subject of conversations. If the subject of conversation is lashon hara and atzlut and laziness and moshav leitzim, then it's he's lying to himself. Yeah. But if he's surrounded around tzaddikim, by the way, if you surround himself with tzaddikim and they're really tzaddikim, they're not going to be wasting their time. They're going to be busy working on themselves. Yeah. So yes, the Talmidei Chachamim, they get together to learn, right? Again, chavruta mituta, all this, no problem. So it's a point of reference for us to realize, okay, that sometimes we have a trait that comes out. Now, yes, we need milta de b'dichuta. We need to be. Nobody's saying that you have to live in a cave alone. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that you have to know when you're surrounding yourself with people, what is the purpose and what are you gaining from it? There's moments where you need to relax and you need to enjoy and you need the vibe of people to uplift you and to make you feel good. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about people that need the other just to speak lashon hara. When we're with someone that every time you're with them, all they do is talk lashon hara, okay, or talk about them, about themselves and how then you know that these people are out there to hurt. The big message here is to value and appreciate the moments when you're alone as moments that are opportunities to really grow as a tzaddik. That's the punchline here. And this is why the lashon tzaddik is in singular, lashon yachid.
Beautiful.
Rabbi, I'm reading here in the Sefaria, the Malbim, the Ibn Ezra writes that when a person, basically the tzaddik, teaches himself musar, so therefore that's really the chaim, and he says that because he speaks from his mouth to himself, therefore he's able to teach others and be a tzaddik. So it's all about working on yourself.
That's right. That's what we're saying. Yeah. That's what we're saying. The development of a tzaddik it starts with himself, right? He learns Torah and he teaches Torah. So now his man, that's what we said earlier. So now his mouth becomes Mekor Chaim. So when he speaks, he infuses Chaim in his words. So now he has the ability, when he says a bracha, when he's gozer something, he's gozer Chaim. Because his mouth is the fountain, is the source of life. This also comes to teach us the importance of the purity of the mouth. The more pure your mouth is, and the more impactful your mouth becomes. Now, there's a flip side also. The more impure and the more dirty your mouth is, and the more negative impact it has also. Right? Because we have polar opposites. You have the Kedusha and you have the Tum'ah.
Mechila, Rabbi, I have to jump off. Thank you very much.
Be'ezrat Hashem. We just finished Pasuk Yud Aleph. Be'ezrat Hashem.
Thank you. Have a good day, everybody.
Right. Which also plays into the idea we spoke about when a good way to test and see yourself when you're thinking clearly, and then the speech doesn't line up with what you're thinking, it's a sign that the Yetzer Hara is taking over, right?
Nachon. That's the point of reference.
How to keep yourself in check. Wow.
Be'ezrat Hashem. Tov.
Thank you.